Hello, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the 14-day practical AI challenge where you stop guessing and where you start prompting. I'm your host, Engineer Victory, and today is day 7 of the incredible journey so far. We're already at the halfway mark of the journey. We're just left with 7 more days to go. And today we have an interesting, amazing topic which we're looking at. Let's get right into it. So today we're looking at creating clear and distinct goals with AI. Clear and distinct goals with AI. What's the theme for today's lesson? Our theme for today's lesson is vision that executes. Vision that executes, right? So you have a vision and you want it to come into reality. You have an idea, you want it to not just remain an idea. How can you accomplish that with AI? Right? We are becoming very, very occupied these days. We are becoming very, very busy these days. There are a lot of things that are fighting for our attention. There's work, there's relationships, there's family, there's social media, there's friends, there's the environment around us, there's our phones, and there's so much more trying to get our attention. So, in light of all this, right, how can you set goals and achieve them? Let's get right into it. So the first thing which we're going to consider is why goals stay dreams. So many people have goals, but they remain as dreams that never come to fulfillment, that they never achieve. How can we break them down into goals that are actually achievable so they don't just remain as dreams? For example, you're a young man and maybe you dream to build your first house maybe in 5 years' time. So, right, that's a good dream, but how do you accomplish it? How do you achieve it? You're a young student and you dream to graduate at the top of your class, right? How do you accomplish that? Or maybe you're a worker, you're an employee, and your dream or your goal is to someday get to be the manager in that firm or to be in a managerial position. How do you achieve that, right? Let's look at why some dreams or some goals stay as dreams and then they never become reality. The first thing we are looking at, some goals stay vague, right? Most goals are vague. So some people, their goals are clearly defined and they are clearly stated in their mind, right? Other goals are not clearly defined, they're just vague. For example, I want to have a car. I want to have a car is a goal, but it is not a clearly defined goal. It's a vague goal. Why do you want to have a car? What kind of car do you want to have? By when do you want to have a car? So you must be precise and you must be clear about the goal which you have and what you want to achieve it. So that way you can translate that goal from your mind into reality. The next thing is no translation into daily or frequent actions. People come up with goals, come up with dreams, come up with things which they aspire to do, and yet they do not incorporate or build daily steps which are going to achieve that goal. For example, a young person, let's say you're looking at getting married in a couple of years time, let's say 3 years time, right? Um, if you do not put daily actions that are going to, translate that goal into a process whereby that goal will be achieved within a time frame, then there's no way you're going to achieve it. So you must be able to have a defined process that entails or enables you to take daily actions or frequent actions that are going to bring about the accomplishment of that goal. Let's say you want to get married in about 3 years' time, right? What do you need to get married? Maybe you need to have money, you need a home, you need a job, maybe you need to be mentally stable, maybe you need to be emotionally mature, maybe you need to be in a relationship, and so on and so forth, right? You need to ask yourself all these things which are necessary for me to get married. Am I having them already? How can I get them, right? Daily steps, daily actions that contribute to the achievement of the overall goal, right? The next thing is over reliance on motivation. Motivation is good, but motivation is not usually enough to achieve daily goals. Motivations are not enough in themselves because, unlike natural human desires, they come and they do not last. For example, people most at times don't need to be motivated to eat. The world is currently about 9 billion people, and a basic human desire and a basic human need is a need for food. Whether you desire to eat or not, whether you like food or not, you must eat. You must eat in some form or another for you to stay alive, except you don't want to live, right? So the fact that you are a human being, your human nature pushes you to desire food, pushes you to desire nourishment. And as a result of that, whether you're motivated or not, you still go and eat. Now, that's a biological system set in place, to ensure that you get the required nutrients you need in order for you to grow, in order for you to be healthy, in order for you to be alive. Now, biologically speaking, that system exists, from the time we are born. That's why newborn babies are going to cry. When they are hungry, they are going to make a fuss when they are hungry, because there is that internal system pushing them, saying, I need food, I need nourishment, I need energy. Give me energy, right? So, motivation on itself is not enough. Motivation must be backed by systems. And one way in which you can do that is, first of all, you need to achieve or break down that goal into achievable steps and back those steps up by systems. That way you can achieve the goal which you're setting out to do. Let's look at the goal of you trying to get married in 3 years, right? One of the systems you can do is maybe you can you can create accountability partners which can help you to achieve that goal. Another thing which you can do to achieve the goal of getting married in 3 years' time, you could join maybe a circle of friends, or you could join a program of other people where maybe there's people are of the same mind and of the same goal, and you are like all saying we are all going to get married in 3 months, and we're going to work together to ensure that by this amount of time, maybe in 3 months, maybe in 6 months, maybe in 3 years, we're going to be married, right? And then it serves as a support system where if you're lacking, if you're falling, if you're failing, then the friends in that community are going to push you and are going to be like, bro or sister or friend, this is not what we agreed to do. You're supposed to be doing this, because our ultimate goal is married by maybe 2027 or married by 2030, right? The next thing is fear of imperfection. Many people, the reason why they do not start their goals is because the goals appear very big, and they are afraid that if they strive to achieve those goals, their results will be imperfect. Let's say, for example, your goal is to be an amazing singer, to be a singer, you produce great music, you produce great sound, and then because of that goal and that desire and that motivation, you take up the mic and you start singing. You take up an instrument, maybe a piano, maybe a guitar, maybe a bass, maybe the trumpet or drums, and then you start playing. And on your first attempt, you create chaos. You don't create music, you don't create melodious sounds, you rather create chaos and something which is akin to noise. And as a result, you're discouraged because of the feedback you get. You shouldn't be afraid of imperfections, because at least you are at the beginning. There is, in one of the earlier sessions, I cannot remember which one exactly, we spoke about failure, where we said failure is a part of the creative process, right? Failure is a part of the creative process. Failure in the sense that once you fail, you learn from your failures and then you move ahead. You don't fail and then you sit down and you cross your arms and you're like, I failed, I'm not going to go ahead, I'm not going to achieve this. Or maybe it's fear of a past failure where you try to achieve something and then you could not achieve it, or the results were terrible. You have to move beyond that fear, right? ChatGPT and AI chatbots or AI agents cannot overcome this fear for you. It's something which you have to do it personally. You have to internalize it. Maybe you can do that with the help of a therapist, or maybe you can do that with the help of a friend, or maybe you can do that with the help of a book or whatever. But you need to overcome the system of fear, because fear is a system in the lives of many people. It is backed up by thoughts, it is backed up by words, it is backed up by beliefs, it is backed up by community, it is backed up by persons, it is backed up by memories. And as a result of all these things, it keeps people in fear, and they find it difficult to break beyond that fear in order to achieve something which maybe would be akin to boldness, akin to bravery and courage, right? So you need to find a way to break out of the system of fear in your particular context. Ask yourself, what are the things keeping me down, the things making me to be afraid? Overcome those things and then you move on, right? Let's move to the next point. Our last point on this section is lack of feedback and adjustment. Goals stay dreams for many people because there is no feedback and there is no adjustment, right? Let's say you're starting something, especially if you're a novice, if you're starting at the beginning, there's no way you're going to achieve that thing in the way you want to achieve it if there is no clear feedback loop and adjustment. At every interval, you must take achieving your goals as a cycle of processes, a cycle of achievements, a cycle of smaller goals, right? You achieve goal one, and then after achieving goal one, you check how does how well did I achieve goal one, and how well does goal one contribute to my overall achievement. If the results were not what you were looking for, you stop, you do it again until you get the right result, then you move on. That way you ensure that at the end of the day, when you get to the final result, all the concurrent steps or the previous steps rather, which are necessary for that main result to be attained, will be there and will support that great result, sufficiently. Let's say you're trying to be a famous musician, a famous composer, maybe like Mozart, maybe a famous artist, maybe like Leonardo da Vinci. um Courtesy to the music I'm playing in the background, right? That music, by the way, is by Andrea Andrea Vanzo. All right. So let's say you want to be a great composer like Andrea Vanzo, and he's playing this music currently on the keyboard, or he played this music on the keyboard. Let's say you want to be a great composer like him, and then you take up a keyboard and you start playing. If there is no feedback for you to get information on how well you've played, on whether you're playing in the right way, and you keep on building on your current level. Let's say you're not so good and you're not getting any feedback. At the end of the day, you would not achieve that goal, because let's say while you're playing the keyboard or while you're playing a piano, there is a correct way for you to place your hands on the various keys. There is a correct way for you to play the various keys. There are some keys maybe you need to hit them harder. There are some keys you may need to hit them softer. Maybe you need to be faster, maybe at a particular section, or slower at a particular section, or maybe there's a way you need to blend certain notes for it to sound more melodious and for it to sound great. And you don't know those things. If there is no assessment and feedback loop, then there's no way you're going to be able to improve on yourself. And improvement is really, really important when you're trying to achieve your goals, because it is our daily actions, or it is our frequent actions on a daily basis, that contribute to the achievement of the goals which we have. Let's say your goal was to graduate and to be a top scientist in an AI firm, to be a top engineer, maybe for example, in a tech company, right? Your daily actions contribute to the achievement of that overall goal, whether you go to school or whether you didn't go to school, whether you were the top of your class or whether you performed poorly, whether you have experience or whether you did not have experience, whether you went out partying and living life instead of taking out time to study and taking out time to practice and to do lots and lots of practice runs, so that you gain the experience, you gain the technologies, you understand how things work. So at that point in time when you are making that application, you can stand out. If you did not do all those necessary things previously, when the time comes for you to make that application, definitely you're not going to be accepted, because you have not done the right actions, or your previous actions do not contribute to the outcome you're looking for. You cannot be driving east towards Russia. Let me not use Russia. You cannot be driving south towards South Africa, and then you say you want to arrive in the US. It's impossible. You have only a car, except maybe you see you have a plane and you can do course correction, and then maybe one day definitely you get there. But there is also the potential of your fuel finishing and maybe you crash land. So rather than taking the risk of driving in the wrong direction, align your steps, align your daily actions to fit towards the goal you want to achieve, right? So that's just a little insight into why goals fail. Now we are going to look at um, the first framework. Today we're going to be considering two frameworks in our lesson. We are going to be considering framework one and framework. The first framework is the SMART framework, and this framework is for writing your goals. If you have a goal and you want to write those goals, right, how should you write them? Now, this is an intuitive process, it's a mental process which does not necessarily need an AI agent. You can do this on your own. You can do this with ChatGPT or without ChatGPT, right? All you just need is an understanding of what you want to achieve. So let's look at the various parts of the SMART framework. Now, we have the S, which stands for specific, we have the M, which stands for measurable, we have the A, which stands for attainable, we have the P, which stands for relevant, and then we have the T, which stands for timely. Your goals must be SMART goals and they must tick the boxes in the SMART framework. Let's look at each letter specifically. So we have S, specific. Plan effectively with specific targets in mind. Your target should be specific. Say, for example, I want to own a car. That's a vague goal, and that's a vague target. Say, for example, a better way to put it would be, I would like to own a Model Y, a Tesla Model Y. That's a specific goal. You're spoken that you want a car, and you're spoken the kind of car you want. You could even go further. I would like to have a Tesla Model Y in the color red, maybe the expanded option, right? Or let's say you want to build a house, right? You must give the details, provide the details. I would like to build a 3-story house for my family, myself and my family, or a 3-story house suitable to be used as a family space. That's a specific goal. So your goals must be specific. You cannot just say, I want to build a house. A skyscraper is a house, an apartment is a house, a shack on the farm is still a house. So what kind of house do you want to build? Do you want to build it in the city? Do you want to build it in the suburb? Do you want to build it in a rural area? Do you want to build it in the skyline? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to build it? Do you want someone else to build it? Do you just want to own a house? These are the specifics which you need to cater for in your goal ideation process or your goal thinking process. The second thing is measurable. Track your progress and reevaluate along the way. So your goals must be measurable. So for example, some people set very vague goals, and there are no structures set aside to measure them. Some goals are sufficient measures in of themselves, while other goals need other measurement metrics in order for you to measure how well you are, approaching them. For example, let's say your goal is, I want to learn how to drive. My goal is to learn how to drive an automatic car, right? That's my goal. The act of learning how to drive an automatic car, is it a measure? Is it something which you can measure? Yes, you can measure. What are the questions which we can ask ourselves to measure whether you can drive an automatic car? Can you put the car on? Can you enter the car? Maybe let's start with can you enter the car? Or maybe can you unlock the car? Can you put it on? Can you back out of your driveway? Can you drive straight? Can you turn? Can you change the gear, maybe from drive to reverse, or maybe to light, or maybe to whatever gear options you have in that particular car? Can you do those things with that car? Now, that's a goal which it has measurement metrics inbuilt in it. There are other goals which the measurement metrics are not inbuilt in it, but they're rather found in the process. For example, my goal is to become president. My goal is to become president of this association, right? So that's your goal. Now, what are the measurements you have to use to measure how much or how far you're going to achieving that goal? The first thing you have to ask yourself is, am I even a member of this association? How can you be the president of an association when you're not a member? Am I a member of this association? Do I know the laws of this association? Am I doing what I need to do to be a president? Maybe for you to be a president, you need to be a high contributor to the goal of the organization. You need to be an active member. You need to be elected by a whole lot of people, right? You need to be known. You need to have contributed positively in your daily life to the overall goal of the organization. Have you done those things? Right? Have you done those things? Those things that contribute to you achieving your goal. Have you done them? That's how you measure a goal that the goal itself does not have measurement metrics built into it. The next thing is the goal attainable? Attainable. You need to set realistic goals. Goals that may be challenging but attainable. For example, you say, I want to become the president of the United States, and yet you are not a US citizen, you were not born in the US, and you are not even currently living in the US. That's an absurd goal. It's a goal that is absurd and not attainable because according to US law, you must be a naturally born free US citizen. You must be living in the US before you can even dream of becoming the president. And you don't tick any of these boxes. How do you think you're going to one day end up as a president? That goal is unattainable. Maybe rather than saying you want to be the president, you can say, I want to be, for example, the vice president of the United States of America. That's definitely possible. That's definitely achievable. You may be living outside of the country. You may be not a naturally US born citizen. That's possible. The law, maybe that may not be possible. Maybe because if, I don't know, let me not get into politics anyway. But your goal should be attainable and your goal should be, it should not be absurd, right? Another goal can be, for example, my goal is to drive from Africa to maybe say Madagascar. That's an absurd goal. Except you say you have to build a bridge because there's first of all no existing bridge between the continent of Africa, the main continent of Africa, and then the subcontinent or the sub island of Madagascar, right? So if first of all there's no existing bridge between those two land masses, right? How do you therefore think you can drive from Africa to Madagascar? That's an absurd goal. It's challenging. Is it attainable? Yes, it is attainable if you have the resources to build a bridge. But if you don't, then for you, it is not attainable, right? You need to understand your context and understand whether a goal is attainable for you, right? And if it is not attainable, sometimes you may need to upgrade and build yourself to a position where that goal becomes attainable. For example, I'm just gonna give a simple example. Let's say your goal is to one day own a plane and you're on an average income job working from 9 to 5. You're not an entrepreneur and you earn averagely 30 to 50,000 USD on an annual basis. How do you think you're going to be able to afford a jet or afford a plane? And you're not even going for the normal small planes. You're dreaming to buy, let's say, a big Boeing 737. That's a highly unattainable dream for your person. But for somebody who has the money, maybe someone who is a very wealthy person who earns maybe upwards of $1 million on an annual basis, he can definitely achieve that because it's within his scope. So it's attainable for him, right? So if you're looking at achieving a goal, the goal should be attainable for you. If it's not attainable, you need to first of all have the goal or aspire to get to the point where you can achieve that goal before looking at achieving it. The next thing which we are looking at is relevance. Ensure that the goal serves a relevant purpose. If your goal does not serve a relevant purpose for you, then why should it be worth chasing? For example, your goal is to paint every car on your street red for no good reason. That's an irrelevant goal because you may end up doing it, you may have the money, the resources to do it, but it's irrelevant. How will it help you? How will it help your community? How will it help the owners of the vehicles? It's an irrelevant goal, right? There is no purpose to it. It does not help you in any way. The next thing we're going to look at is timing. You need to specify the deadline. Goals don't exist forever. If your goal is to die, then of course there is a timeline for you to die. Every person dies. But if your goal is for you to do something and you do not set a timeline to it, at the end of the day, you are not going to be able to achieve that goal, because most likely you'll be unmotivated. Most likely, other things are going to come that are going to turn your direction away, or turn your focus away from achieving that goal. For example, I want to get a house. I want to build a house, a family house, and you do not set up any time frame. Maybe you say I want to build a family house in 5 years. That's a good goal because you set up a time frame there. Now, one thing is, even if you do not achieve that goal within that time of 5 years, you should not be discouraged. You should not think that, oh, because I didn't do this in 5 years, I've kind of like not achieved my goal. Of course, but you should rather update your goal and shift the time frame. Evaluate yourself. Why didn't I achieve this goal in 5 years? What were the factors that stopped me from achieving this goal in 5 years? And how can I ensure that within a shorter period or within an added period of time, I can achieve this goal? That is a framework which you need to use when creating your goals. So your goals must be specific, they must be measurable, they must be attainable, they must be relevant, and they must be timely. That's the SMART framework for making goals. Then we are going to look at our prompting framework for today. Our prompting framework for today is the goal prompting framework, where you're trying to break down a goal into smaller steps, right? So how should you structure and order your prompt with the particular AI agent? You should give general ideas. The first G, or the first letter, is general ideas, your idea. And we are seeing general ideas. We're not talking of any kind of ideas, but it's just the idea which you want to achieve, right? Broad understanding of the goal. The second is O, which stands for the outcome, your desired result. So maybe, for example, the desired result of the goal. Now let's just keep continuing. I'm going to see that in examples anyway. Action steps, specific measures to achieve the goal. So what are the action steps? What are the action steps that you need to include in your prompt? And then finally, we have potential challenges or constraints to the goal. So G stands for your general idea. O stands for the outcome. So what is the idea you have? I want to own a house. What's the outcome? So that I can live in a house and stop renting. What are the action steps I need to take? I need to save money to be able to achieve that goal. Or maybe I need to invest more to afford, buying a house, right? What are the limitations? I have a little income. I am in a place where getting a house is not easy. Maybe you may have the money, but finding a house or building a house in that area is not easy. Maybe there may be challenges, there may be regulation issues, whatever. You must be able to identify those limitations so you can draft them in your prompt. Then we are going to look at a further breakdown of the prompting framework with examples rather. So the first thing we are going to look at here is the general idea. So for example, what do we have for a general idea? Enhance skills and knowledge for career development. This person wants to enhance his or her skill and knowledge for career development. What's the goal? Career development. He wants to enhance skills and knowledge. Let's look at the outcome. The outcome is get employed at a higher position with better opportunities. Let's say he's currently working as an intern, right? Or maybe he's currently working as an employee in a particular firm, and this person wants to attain, say, a managerial position, or this person wants to attain a higher position, right? So his goal is to enhance his skills so that those skills permit him to get a higher position. What are the actions? Learn more skills and work on bigger projects. Learn more skills and work on bigger projects, right? And that's the action which he wants to take. So he wants to achieve the goal of getting employed at a higher position by enhancing his skills. And how does he enhance his skills? By learning new skills and then working on bigger projects. And then what are the limitations he has to achieving this goal? right, is he's currently enrolled in a full-time job, or he's currently employed in a full-time job while being a mother of five. It's a she and not a he in this case. So the person is currently a mother of five, employed in a full-time job, right? And he's looking at, or she is looking at, career advancement, career progression. How can this person achieve that, right? So that's the prompt. That's what the prompt should contain. Let's look at good prompts and bad prompts. An example of a good prompt is, help me turn I want to improve my career. I want to improve my career into one clear goal I can work on this month without affecting my daily work schedule from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So this person, he has a goal, and the goal is he wants to improve his career, but he's looking for one action step he can do to achieve that goal on this month. So we have the general idea, we have the outcome, which is wants to improve his career, right? Do we have, so it's the general idea, the outcome, the action steps, and then the limitations. Right now, this person did not give an action step. What is actually looking for is the action step in this case, right? So help me turn I want to improve my career into one clear goal I can work on this month without affecting my daily work schedule from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So the limitation here is his daily work schedule from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is a good prompt, right? But this prompt is not a very detailed prompt. So if I want to read this prompt, I would probably give this prompt a 6 out of 10 because it does not provide the context. It does not provide enough context, rather. We're going to look at bad prompts. Help me improve my life and career. That's a very bad prompt. That's a very bad prompt. It's too broad. Improve your life and career. It's too broad. There is no time frame, and then it does not clearly state what you want. You want to improve your life and career, yes, but how? How do you want to improve your life and career? Do you want to become a better person, and in what way? Because life and career is a very broad aspect, of life. For example, maybe in order for you to improve your career, you need to earn more, or for you to improve your career, you need to relate more with your peers, with your colleagues, or maybe for you to improve more in your career, you need to build more skills and learn more and deepen the skills you already know. So you need to actually provide the context, for the particular case you're talking about. So my microphone got cut there. I'm just going to repeat this slide. Maybe it was not, I didn't know if it was involved in the recording, but I'm just going to mention that so you could have that, right? So the first thing which I'm saying is, let's look at the good prompt again. Will you bring a life coach and a pro chef? Help me become a better cook in 2 months by telling me what actions I need to take, what actions I need to take to cook better meals for my Nigerian family. So this is an amazing prompt. The persona of the AI agent is clearly specified. He says it's a life coach and a pro chef. So it's going to take the approach from a family lifestyle approach and the approach of someone who is trying to be a better cook, a chef, the approach of a chef, right? And then there's the time frame which is clearly specified, 2 months, and then the audience of the food, or the people who are going to measure the goal, which is the family, right? If the family begins to commend the lady and says, oh, your cooking has improved, the food is better, definitely the goal has been attained. So the goal is a smart goal. So there is clear context with specific expectations, and the goal is a smart goal. Let's look at the bad prompt. I want to cook better, tell me how. This prompt is a very bad prompt because the context is not specified, the outcome is not quantifiable. Cooking better is a very, very broad goal, and it has so many ways at which you can approach it. Do you want to cook better? For example, like, to someone, cooking better could just be learning how to cook rice and boil rice. To another person, cooking better could just be learning how to make pasta, and that's all. Maybe to another person, cooking better could just be learning how to fry eggs and make scrambled eggs and make toast and baking, and that's all for them, right? Maybe that's just all for them. So you need to define your context. And once the context is not defined, the AI is going to respond in a very, very general and basic way, which may not be useful for you. And another thing is, this particular prompt does not present any persona for the AI agent to adopt. For example, if this person is a cook at a restaurant, and the person is trying to cook better for the manager, or the person is trying to cook better for the servers, or the person is trying to cook better for the customers, the approaches which that person is going to take will be different for each of these audiences. And if the AI chatbot is adopting the persona of a manager, adopting the persona of a customer, or adopting the persona of a server, the options which the AI chatbot will give you would be very different, would be very, very different, right? The manager is going to focus on costs, reducing costs, reducing time, improving quality, right? The consumer is going to focus on, maybe he's going to say, I want this particular food to be deep fried, I prefer this one baked, I prefer this one cooked this particular manner, right? And that manner is, sometimes when they make those requests or when they make those recommendations, they don't think of the cost, but the manager thinks of the cost. Instead of baking, can you fry? Instead of boiling, maybe could you roast it, right? So the recommendations are going to be different because what they prioritize is different. And as such, you need to be able to know the right persona you want the AI agent to adopt to give you the right response relevant to your use case. And the goal is not a SMART goal. It's not specific, it's not measurable. Is it attainable? Yes, but there is no context to make us understand it's attainable since it's not specific. Is it relevant? It may be relevant to the person, but is it timely? No time. So it's not a SMART goal. We're going to move over to the AI mindset. Our AI mindset for today is AI can clarify ideas to produce the right direction. So you can bring in a goal, you can bring in what you want to achieve, and AI can break it down and show you or help you discover the right way to move in order to achieve that bigger, broader goal, right? It could give you the action steps you need to take in order to achieve the goal you're trying to achieve. Finally, let's move to our life prompt walkthrough. Now, life prompt walkthrough, the first thing we're going to cover today is how to use AI to build goals that are smart in themselves, right? Smart goals. How to make the goal specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. We want to make sure that our goals are smart. Then after that, we are going to see how to break our goals into smaller steps or making them clearer and distinct so we can achieve them using AI, right? Let's start. Let's say the goal is to build a house. You have a dream to build a house and you want the goal to be smarter, attainable, relevant, timely goal. How do you do that? So the first thing which we're going to inform AI, we're going to give it a persona, right? The persona AI is adopting for this particular exercise, it's adopting the role of a life coach. Is adopting the role of because the goal is to get a house, is adopting the role of a life coach and an experienced real estate agent, or an experienced, let's just say an experienced real estate agent, because that's relevant to housing. And then we are now going to tell it our goal, and then we are going to ask you to help us make the goal a SMART goal, which is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Let's begin. You are an experienced life coach and real estate agent with over 10 years of experience. The reason why I always like to specify the years of experience is to kind of like tell you to make the AI agent understand what level of expertise the agent should approach this particular exercise with. Someone who has 10 years of experience and someone who has 20 to 25 years of experience, right? Their level of expertise and mastery in the field is going to be different. They may all be masters at what they are doing, but one is going to be a higher master than the other. So you are an experienced life coach and real estate agent with over 10 years of experience. Help me make my goal of building a house a smart goal. SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable. We have specific, measurable, attainable. We also have relevant and then timely. Right? And then we're always going to end by telling it if it has any questions for us which are gonna help it better respond to the instruction, you should let us know. You can ask me any question to better understand my goal and what I want. So the prompt is: you are an experienced life coach and real estate agent with over 10 years of experience. Help me make my goal of building a house a SMART goal. SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. You can ask me any question to better understand my goal and what I want. Right? We are going to see the response it gets. So today we are working with ChatGPT, and let's see its response. It says, love this goal. Building a house is big, emotional, financial, and strategic. To turn it into a true SMART goal, I need to understand your situation across money, timeline, location, and lifestyle. These things are very, very important and they are relevant to the particular goal of building a house. You cannot talk about building a house and you don't talk about money. You cannot talk about building a house and you don't talk about timeline. You cannot talk about building a house and you don't talk about location. Laws concerning housing and infrastructure construction varies from place to place. It varies from country to country, and even within a country it varies from location to location. And then the other thing which is also relevant is lifestyle. Lifestyle is going to definitely influence the choice of a house you want to build. Are you looking at building, for example, in the UK, in the United Kingdom, houses tend to be smaller because currently the UK is a very, very big nation in terms of its population, and their space, the size of the country is not very big as compared to other places. And as a result, you tend to find out that houses in the UK tend to be smaller than houses around Europe. In Germany, it's not the same case, right? Laws also affect, the various traits of real estate which you're going to find in those various areas. But one thing which definitely affects it is the lifestyle. Somebody who maybe is a wealthy business person may like to have a bigger house. Somebody who is a solo entrepreneur who is just starting may prefer to live in a smaller house. Somebody who is a family person who cherishes extended family may really want a very, very big house with lots of rooms, while somebody who just wants a small place for him and maybe his wife and kids may prioritize a smaller space. So lifestyle also matters. So we are going to see specific. Now it's asking us questions which we have to answer in order to get it better help us. So we're going to see it this way. Specific, what exactly are you trying to build? Do you want to build a primary residence, rental property, or family house? Which city or country are you planning to build in? Do you already own land? What type of a house? Apartment building, number of bedroom, size. Are you imagining luxury, mid-range, or budget build? Measurable, numbers and money. Estimated total budget, even rough. Current savings towards the house. Monthly income you can dedicate towards the goal. Will you finance with savings only? Will you take out a loan or a mortgage? Will your family support you? Or are you using business income or a combination of some of these things? Attainable, reality check. Are you currently employed yourself? Are you currently employed? Are you self-employed? Are you a student? Right? Any major financial obligations? Do you have any loans? Maybe like tuition or family support? Do you expect your income to increase in the next 1 to 3 years? Have you built or bought property before? Number 4 is relevant. Why this matters? This is important for your motivation. Why do you want to build a house? Stability, investment, family pressure, freedom, long term wealth. How would your life change once it is built? It's an important question. And then deadline. When do you want construction to start? When do you want to move in or to complete it? 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Once you answer, I'll convert your goal into a clean, smart statement and also break it into phases, give you strong saving action roadmaps, suggest risk buffers, add accountability milestones, and so on and so forth. Now, this is a great breakdown. At this point already, I was already thinking of prompting it to give us a roadmap on how to achieve this goal, but it has already said after we provide the responses, it's going to give us a roadmap on how we can definitely achieve this goal. So I'm just going to copy this whole response, answer the questions, and then we are going to move on. So I'm going to say, find my responses to your questions attached below. I'm not going to say attached because it's not in a file. I'll just say below, right? And then put a column. You can put a column if you want or not. It's just for grammar and following the laws of English, right? So I'm going to copy up to here and then just come down here and then paste it. And then I'm going to come and start answering the questions one by one. So specific, what exactly are you trying to build? I'm going to say primary family residence for me, my wife, and kids, right? So this could be whatever you want to be. Like, you have options here. It could be a rental property you're trying to build. It could be just a house for you alone, or it could be a secondary residence. It could be a holiday home, right? So we have, I think I'm going to take this and then put this here. Now I'm going to rather cut it, not copy, because the questions are kind of many, so I want it to, my answers to match. Alright, so that's the first answer. Which country, city or country are you living in? Let's say I'm living in London. I don't want to use London. London is a very crowded city. Let's say I'm living in Kigali, Rwanda. Kigali, Rwanda. Do you already own land? I do not own land. What type of house do you want it to be? I'm going to say Victorian style mansion. In this case, you need to understand the kind of house you want, right? You need to look for, do you want it to be a modern 3-story house? Do you want it to be a 2-story house, a semi-detached house? This way, you need to now understand the kind of houses that are out that is possible for you to build. I would say Victoria style mansion with. I'm just going to leave it there because Victoria style mansion has a lot of properties already that are unique to it. Apartment building, duplex, or single family. I don't need that. Number of bedrooms. I'm going to be realistic and say 6. For this one, size in meters of feet, I don't know. So I'm just gonna say I don't know, but I want the house to have a large external yard with a garden, a playground, and a pool. Let me just say a garden and a playground, maybe a playground and a car park and a car park. Let me just end there, right? Are you imagining luxury, mid-range, or budget? But let's say mid-range, right? Now, measurable numbers, estimated total budget, even rough. It's dollars, but you can definitely change your currency instead of giving dollars. Let's say you could give in pounds, you could give it in euros, whatever, right? But let me just say I have a rough estimate of $25,000, which is actually cheap. Current saving towards the house, I currently have 15,000 US dollars saved. Monthly income you can dedicate towards the house. I can dedicate monthly income of $500. Will you finance the house? I'm going to say savings and personal income. And then just add this. One thing you need to understand is consistency with AI. The reason why I'm adding this hyphen is because in all my previous responses, I added a hyphen to show it was a response. Consistency with AI is very, very important. If not, you may have some issues. You may have comprehension issues. Attainability, reality check. Are you currently, I would say, self-employed business owner? Now this could be anything. This is just for my particular use case, right? The example could be different, right? Any major financial obligations or family support. I'm just gonna say family support of, let's say, $200 monthly, 200 USD monthly. Do you expect your income to increase within the next 1 to 3 years? If you expect it to increase, just write honestly what you feel. Let's say yes, at least by 5%, right? At least by 5%. Have you built or bought property before? No. Relevant. Why this matters? This forms part of your motivation, whatever. So why do you want to build a house? I'm going to say stability, and your answer must not be an answer that is already here. You could give your own answer that is specific to your use case. Stability, and then stop renting, right? And then you could just take away all of these other options. Then we have this other question: how will your life change once it is built? I would say stability and less chaos, right? Stability and less chaos. Chaos has a and age. And let's chaos. Timely, we're given the deadline. Where do you want to start construction? I want to start construction, let's say in 5 months. Where do you want to move in or complete it? Let's say in 2 years max. In 2 years maximum. We can just delete all these other options, and then I think that's all. So I think I've answered all of the questions. Specific. So what exactly am I trying to build? Do I want to build a primary residence? This is my response. Primary family residence for me and my wife and kids. Which country? Kigali, Rwanda. Do you already own land? No. What type of house? Victorian style mansion, 6 rooms, external playground. Just try to be distinct and realistic as possible as you can. Don't produce things which are not. Don't give things which are not realistic, in my opinion. For example, you want to build a house with 100 rooms. That's not realistic. It's possible, but it's not realistic. The government may never issue a permit for such a building. Okay, so let's see the response we have here. It says, "Thank you. This is a great start. I'm going to be honest with you in a supportive way, wearing both my coach and real estate hats." Now, it is mentioning this because I gave it a persona. The persona describes the way in which it's going to respond to you. If I said you are a mother, it's going to speak to me as a mother. If I said you are an angry, wicked dictator, it will speak to me as an angry, wicked dictator, right? So your persona is very, very important. A 6-bedroom Victorian mansion with land in Kigali cannot realistically be built for 25,000, not even close, right? So it is helping me to refine my goal. First of all, it's letting me know that this money which I have in mind is not possible, right? Now you can definitely check this up, if you have the time to do the research. How much does it cost to normally buy? Look at the kind of houses which you would like to have, how much it costs to buy such houses in that same area. The price of buying such houses should give you an idea of what it will cost to build, because that price of the house is going to affect the price of the land, the price of materials, the price of labor, and all of those things, right? The price of building may actually be less, than the price of similar houses in that area, or it may be more depending on the case, but that should give you a good idea of how much you need to spend. So that is for my use case of me wanting to build a house. So it says not even close. I'm not saying this to discourage you. I'm saying it so we can protect your dream from turning into a financial stress. Right? Remember, our goal is to make the goal attainable, achievable, right? A smart goal must be grounded in real numbers, or it becomes a trap. Right now, your vision and your budget are describing two different projects. So we'll do something smarter. Keep the dream, adjust the strategy, build in phases. This is how real estate wealth is actually built, right? So reality framing. Even a modest 3 to 4 bedroom house with land in Kigali often costs 60,000 to 120,000 USD. I don't know how true this is though. Houses in Africa are normally not as expensive as houses in the West. 60 to 120,000 is also going to be dependent on the economy also, but I don't know how true this is anyway. Depending on location and materials, a 6-bedroom mansion with yard and garden could be 150,000. So your current financial capacity suggests land acquisition, starter structure, expand over time, upgrade into your dream house, right? So this is how many wealthy homeowners do it, not all at once. So here is your goal converted into a realistic version. Smart goal statement. I will acquire land in Kigali, begin construction of a phased family residence within 5 months using my $15,000 savings. and 500,000 monthly contributions. Within 2 years, I will complete a livable starter home on property and stop renting, while creating a long-term plan to expand the house into a 6-bedroom Victorian style family residence. So basically, this is what ChatGPT is saying. ChatGPT is saying, with your current reality, you do not have enough financial resources to achieve the goal you're looking at. So basically, still start, buy land, start construction, but first of all, build part of the house so that you can, live there. And then as time goes over, you're now looking at expanding the building, right? So maybe, for example, you can build the foundation. Maybe you can just write the plan and then write the plan of the house and then make it in such a way that the house can be built in sections. So maybe you can start by building the first floor, right? Or maybe you can start by building the first section, right? Just depends on architecture and what is going to be permissible, right? This keeps your dream intact but makes the first milestone achievable. Break down into phases. So it already breaks it down into phases, which I really, really like. But one thing which I'm going to say is, you see this goal here, you can definitely take it and then you can say, for example, let's say I don't like this goal, and I'm seeing that building a 6-bedroom flat, 6-bedroom room, a 6-bedroom Victorian style family residence is going to be too expensive for me, and I do not want to spend that much money. I can change the goal into a 6-bedroom or maybe a 4-bedroom modern 2-story building. That would definitely cost less, right? And I can update it and say, let's change the goal to build a 4-bedroom 2-story family building in Kigali, Rwanda, right? How will it affect the goal statement and the phases? Let's see the breakdown of the phase with the current goal statement. From 0 to 6 months, we have land acquisition plus legal foundation, buy land and secure ownership. Then the actions, research affordable plots. Oh, what just happened? Wow, I don't know what just happened, but I'm glad I did this on my um I'm glad I did this on my signed in version. If not, all the information would have just been lost. Alright, let's keep moving. Where were we? Right, yeah, so we have research affordable plots outside premium zones, target land in the 10 to 18k range, keep 3 to 5,000 buffer for legal plus early construction. Milestone, your own land. There's already a major wealth step, right? Is this achievable? You currently have 15,000. You want to start building within the first 5 months, and you can contribute over $500 every month to the construction of the house. I think it's achievable because it's already telling us that the lands are in the range of 10,000 to 18,000. So with the money which we already have in savings, it's possible to get a house. And with monthly contributions of 500, within 4 months, you already have an additional sum of 2,000, right? So let's say ideally you can get a land for 12,000 United States dollars, and then with your monthly added contribution and the remaining part of the savings, you can definitely pay for legal fees and early construction, right? But of course, these values may not be so realistic with what is in ground in Kigali, Rwanda. I don't know, but it's just something which is a representation of what could be the ideal conditions. Our phase 2 is the starter home. Build a livable 2 to 3 bedroom core structure, straw foundation, utilities, roof, plumbing, electricals, ready for expansion. You move in early, stop paying rent, redirecting rent money into construction. This is a use acceleration trick. Phase 3, 2 to 7 years, expansion into dream mansion, right? Extra bedrooms, Victorian features, landscaping, garden plus yard, playground, car park. This is where the dream house becomes real. So measurable saving roadmap. So you can invest 500 a month minus 200 USD support for family. Your net total is 300. Annual savings 3,600. 2 years you save 7,200 plus the existing 15,000. You have 22,200. This aligns more with land plus starter structure, not a full mansion yet. But it does not put you in ownership. Ownership beats, but it does put you in ownership rather. Ownership beats renting every time. Attainable adjustment. Starting full mansion construction in 5 months is financially risky. Smarter target. Land purchase in 5 months. Construction start in 9 to 12 months. This gives you buffer and safety. Final refined smart version. I will purchase affordable land in Kigali within 5 months using my current 15,000 savings. Over the next 24 months, I would invest 300 monthly towards construction of a livable starter home on the property to eliminate renting expenses. This house will serve as foundation for a phased expansion into a 6-bedroom Victorian-style family residence within 5 to 7 years. Now that's a better goal in my opinion, and it's definitely a smart goal and it's definitely achievable. You can definitely change this into something which maybe you want to achieve in your own use case. Maybe you want to graduate with the best grades in order for you to become more employable in a particular industry, or maybe you want to become a more preferred candidate in a job or in an employment round, maybe in 6 to 7 months. So you just need to be able to give the right context for the AI agent to produce the right results. I'm going to refine this goal a little bit, and I was able to achieve this in just 2 prompts, right? My first prompt stated what I wanted it to do, and my second prompt was responding to its questions, and it gave me a well-detailed structure goal which is achievable, right? This is great. Now it's giving recommendations, but I don't want to look at them. I just want to edit this. I want to create some editing, right? So I'm going to say in light of your recommendation, I want to change my goals into something else. Let me say something else, not something more. I'm going to say my new goal is to build a 4-bedroom 2-story building in Kigali. That's my new goal, right? Please make this a smart goal and provide appropriate phases to its execution or to its achievement. Still the same thing but different words. So let's see how it's going to. Let's see the response which we are going to get, right? It says, great, this is a clearer target and easier to structure. I'll base a smart goal on your current finances, not fancy numbers, so the plan is executable. You're not just building a house, you're building a multi-year capital project. We'll treat it like one. Smart goal. I'll acquire land in Kigali and construct a 4-bedroom 2-story family residence in phased stages. I will use my 15,000 current savings and invest 300 monthly towards land purchase and construction. Within 24 months, I will complete a livable core structure and move in, and within 5 years, I will complete the full 2-story 4-bedroom house, right? Let's break down. So specific, and the reason why it's taking longer is because you're building out of pocket with no loan. If you were to build with a loan, the construction would be faster, maybe in a year or maybe in 8 months, right? Let's break how this satisfies the SMART goals. Specific. So, 4 bedroom, 2-story house in Kigali, measurable 15,000 savings plus 300 monthly and 24 months livable structure plus a 5-year full completion plan. Is it attainable? Phase build aligned with cash flow. Very true. Relevant family stability and then it ends rent. Timely. Clear 2 years and 5-year milestone. And then we now have an execution plan, land acquisition and planning, foundation and ground floor shell, interior completion and savings recovery, and then we have second floor construction 3 to 5 years. So basically, this is a wonderful breakdown in my opinion, and just see the way it goes. So this is the way in which you can use AI agents to make your goals to be smarter, to break them down to be clearer, and to be distinct, right? And we have used the SMART framework because that is very, very important for writing down goals and for making them realistic and achievable. So we have come to the end of today's lesson. This has been your host, Engineer Victory, at the 14-day practical AI challenge where you stop guessing and you start prompting. See you in the next one. Bye bye.